You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Monday, happy Moon Day, and welcome to a new week, a fresh start, and maybe some renewed motivation because we're talking a bit about Mars today. The Sun and Mars are harmonizing, and that might give you a little boost of energy or a purpose. So we'll dive into that transit, and we're also talking about the last quarter moon in Cancer. Nick is here. He said, looked at the daily astrology on your website over the weekend, missed your show. Thanks, Nick. I needed a little break. And I'm hoping this Mars Trine Sun transit gets my juices flowing again. Hi, Diane. Thanks for being here. Let's start with our notable birthdays. Eminem is a Libra, an October 17th Libra. Very interesting. I see it though, you know, he's the dad and he like loves his daughter and he seems like he'd be kind of a cool guy, but then you hear his music and it's like the other extreme. Interesting. Felicity Jones is a Libra, Rita Hayworth. Who else? Norm Macdonald was a Libra, Arthur Miller, Ziggy Marley. Love that. Bill Hudson. If you're a Libra, if someone you know is celebrating a birthday today, let us know so we can celebrate them too. So just getting a check on the energy now. How's everybody feeling today under this last quarter moon? Let me know in the comments. I always like to take a temperature of the room, see what the needs are, but this is a current check on the energy. The sun is in Libra. The moon is going to move from Cancer into Leo tonight, but not before it gets very busy. The moon has had quite a busy morning tomorrow for me. Oh yes, it's your birthday tomorrow, Diane. Okay, I can't wait to give you a shout out tomorrow morning. Hi, Corby. Happy Monday. Today does seem like a good day. I'm rolling with it. So excited for you, Diane. And it's also fun to look at what degree your sun is at. I can't remember off the top of my head what degree your sun is at because you might be experiencing your solar return today. Sometimes your solar return is a day off from your actual birthday, depending on that year, the sun's movement. So you are probably starting to feel that solar return energy. Corby says, I'm feeling the emotions and duality. Duality has been my experience. This whole Libra season has been duality. Like yesterday, I got to go to this amazing talk by Glennon Doyle. I don't know if you guys know who Glennon Doyle is. She's an author and her book Untamed. All of her books are really amazing. And she was in the area. So some friends and I went to go see the talk with her. I feel like I could sneeze. Maybe not. Okay, thought I was going to sneeze. Duality, right? And the whole time I had this pounding headache at the talk and I was so inspired and loved everything she was saying, but I also had a headache. And so I just kept thinking, okay, duality, I can be having this amazing experience and also physically not feeling great. So yes, very much feeling that duality. Okay, Diane's sun is at 25 degrees. So let's look at the chart. The sun is still at 24 degrees. Okay, so tomorrow will probably be your actual solar return, and your birthday, of course. So excited to celebrate you. Okay, let's get into our main transit of the day today. The sun and Mars are harmonizing. So actually, I'll pull the chart back up here. And you can see the sun at 24 degrees, Mars at 24 degrees, that dark blue line signifying a trine, a 120-degree angle. And that angle signifies balance, flow, ease in astrology and just in geometry. All of the angles, all of the aspects we talk about are derived from geometry, from Pythagoras, you know? So, this angle allows these two energies, the sun and Mars, to work together very easily. And the sun, remember, represents our awareness, our energy, our vitality, I just, when I see the sun, as far as the transiting sun, it just really brings awareness to things. It lights things up, right? And then Mars, of course, is our motivation, our drive, our action, our stamina, our desire, our want. And so hi, BB, happy to see you here. Hi, Nikki. Hey, Katie, everyone joining in. So when the sun and Mars are harmonizing, I really see this as an opportunity to ask ourselves some questions, especially because both planets are in air signs, and air signs tend to be more communicative, more intellectual. And so that's why I'm feeling analysis a little bit. So the questions to ask yourself under this transit: who am I? Mars is very much about the self and me, and what do I want? That's the other question to ask. And it's interesting because that was a big theme of Glennon Doyle's talk yesterday, was really tapping into what do I want? So often as humans, we don't ask ourselves, what do I want? It's just more looking around the room and seeing, what am I supposed to want right now? How am I supposed to act right now? But truly coming into our own purpose, our own motivations, who we are and why we are here, what we want to do with this one precious life we have, can be the driving force to help us take action. And taking action should come pretty easily today. Our motivation is easy to tap into, and we can be more independent and really focused on our own desires. Now, that might seem selfish to some people, right? But what's interesting is that both the sun and Mars actually are in these relational signs. The sun in the sign of relationships in Libra, and Mars in Gemini, the sign of friendships, and represented by the twins. So obviously there's like this relational quality there. And I think it's important to note that by focusing on what we want, what our purpose is, who we are, and what we are here to do, we can better show up in relationships because we're showing up as our authentic selves, as the people we really want to be, and as we're showing up knowing what we want. And often when we show up in relationships not knowing what we want, we're trying to meet other people's needs, check what they want, and it's self-sacrificing, right? And so this energy today really allows us to come back to ourselves. What do we want? What are we here to do? And also, because it's easy to act today, actions come very easily when the sun harmonizes with Mars. Our actions can be more aligned, and we can also be aware of how our actions affect other people. When we are tapped into our purpose and what we want, how does that affect the people around us? So this doesn't have to be fully selfish, like it's all about me today, because when we are tapped into who we want to be, we can better show up for the people that we really care about. It's a really great day also to assess where your energy is already at, what projects you've already started, what needs to be done to kind of move the needle forward in projects that do feel aligned for you. And under this last quarter moon, if you notice that your energy is being pulled in a direction that doesn't feel authentic anymore, isn't what you really want, this is the time to release that energetic attachment. So it's a really great day to just finish unfinished business or start something even. Although the moon's phase isn't really aligned with starting something new, maybe it's just the time to release what you don't want so you can fully align with what you do want. So there's definitely plenty of motivation to tap into today. I know what I want, yet also I want to be considerate. Exactly. And I think we can have both. Duality, right? Talking about duality. We can be true to ourselves. We can have the life we want without stepping on other people in the process. But that doesn't mean that we don't go after what we want and what our true desires are and what feels authentic for us, because we don't want to step on anybody else's toes. If we're in secure relationships that allow for each of our authentic expression, we should each be able to go after what we want and respect the other person's needs. So this could be a day where like anxious attachment, codependency kind of comes up, or you might just notice that when you ask yourself those questions, what do I want? You know, you might be, if those thoughts or feelings come up like, well, what if what I want isn't what my partner wants or my friends want? It doesn't matter what they want. You're here to live your most authentic and expressive life. So it's duality. It's always duality, especially in Libra season. Katie says, I've been feeling into my expressions of myself as an individual. Being a mom has been a trip in terms of identity. The energy feels very aligned for me. And that's the same, right? What do you want as a human? Yes, you want to be a good mom and you want to be there for your kids, but if you're just constantly denying your own needs and your own desires, you're going to end up subconsciously resenting your kids, and then that's going to affect the relationship with them, right? And so by denying ourselves what we truly want, it does create issues in our relationship and it can damage relationships, which is why it's so important to tap into me. What do I want? What am I here to do? The timing for this, Diane says, had some powerful realizations the past couple of days, reevaluating a few things since my reading, and with situations that came up, some conversations reflected this energy. I'm so glad it's aligning for so many of you. I really like transit today, especially secret. I've been feeling a lot of stagnant energy personally. I've just been having a hard time pulling myself out of darkness. Last week we pulled the dark night of the sun. I've just had that sitting on my desk. Yes, I see you. I see you. And this feels like getting the wheels turning and like being into that motivation again. And so that's helpful for you too. Oh, good, Katie. I'm so glad it aligns. Okay, let's go on to the moon. The last quarter Cancer. The moon has already made some connection, but before we get on to those, the last quarter moon is the moon's point when it peak release. So it looks like a half circle in the sky, and in astrology and just in history, and this is the time in the moon cycle we fully just like release, let it go, and then we enter surrender mode for the week. But this release very emotional, like an emotional urge, because the moon is at home in Cancer, and we're very, very much tapped into our emotions. It might be emotional tension that needs to be really a great time for a good cry today. To be honest with you, like that might be what you need, or it's not sadness, maybe it's anger that you've been holding on to that you want to let go. Today is the day to do it. And because Cancer rules the home, act physically clearing out your space, your home, your comfort zone might feel for you today too. Overnight, 2 a.m., the moon formed a conjunction to Lilith. Dreams might have been bold overnight. Powerful emotions can come through when the moon forms a conjunction to Lilith. You might have even woken up feeling a little spicy. Side coming out, so maybe you had wild dreams as well. But this was 2 a.m. Pacific time, 5 a.m. Eastern time. So many of us likely slept through this conjunction. When we look at this from an astronomy standpoint, moon conjunct Lilith actually means the moon is farthest away from the Earth, right? So it looks kind of small. Look up at it in the sky. Just an interesting little tidbit there. Corby says literally in tears and wrote it out. Timing, just letting it go. That's what the last quarter moon asks us to do, and what we're feeling today. Now, some Pacific time, so 9 a.m. Eastern time, squared off with Venus. And when the moon squares Venus feel needy. That's just kind of par for the course. This almost insatiable desire for pleasure. And so this is always a point in a live stream when someone like Rose comes in, is like, yeah, I really wanted to eat like a cookie for breakfast or ice cream. When the moon squares Venus, we just want satisfaction, we want affection, for anything to make us feel good. Sing this morning, you might have had tendencies like just being a little needy or just kind of thing, but more on a an impulsive level, deeper desire and wanting. We've been talking about with the sun harmonizing with it's more just like overeating or possible. Oh, I want that shiny thing. Oh, I want that to make me feel good, right? We had a lot of back-to-back transits this morning, actually. Pull up the chart. So the moon squared Venus, that was at a.m. We'll jump back here. And you can see what that looks like. The moon squaring Venus. And then harmonized with Neptune at Pacific time, so 11 a.m. Eastern time. So really right around the same time. It's like we woke up feeling a little needy, and then maybe even on top of that, because when the moon and Neptune harmonize, their energies are flowing together very easily, and we know Neptune makes us sensitive. Now it can in our intuition as well. And so sensitivity doesn't necessarily mean like crying all the time. It could be that you're literally heightened when the moon harmonized with Neptune, and we're still sort of feeling this energy now. And so you might have gotten some intuition, especially with the moon in Cancer, really tapping our intuition. But we really to listen to the sins that are coming up under this last quarter. As the moon harmonized with Tune, it could have just aware to the sensitivities that maybe we weren't necessarily tapped into days prior. So intuition today for sure, heightened sensitivity today for sure, and also the moon and Neptune connecting can just help us softer, more compassionate. We can like literally feel for other people. Those heightened sensitivities could make it easy to take people's energy, or just really like that empathy for us. And then as you can start here, the moon squared the sun, and that's the lunar moon. That's the technical, when the moon and sun are squared, that marks the latter moon. And you can kind of think of it like, okay, and the moon and sun are conjunct, we have moon. Then when they're degrees away, angle from when they are 90 degrees away from each other, that's the quarter moon. Then they other, there's the full moon, and then this 90-degree angle we're experiencing right now is quarter moon. So really into geometry today. But the moon forming this square to one another, this tension, this anxiety between our experience and our external experience, and that is the catalyst for the relief that we've been talking about under this lunar moon in Cancer. It could just be that we realize what we've been holding emotion internally is not match our external expression, and that's where that release needs to come from. That's where we need to let it out. So definitely feeling last quarter moon energy right now. Those are all the transits that have already transpired before we came on here. What we still have to look forward to, I don't know if look forward to is the right word, but going to oppose Pluto in about here 2 p.m. So let me go back to the current moment, and you can see it's like on our chart here. We have the moon at 25 degrees right now, Pluto at 26 degrees. So next half hour it'll be an exact opposition. But anytime the moon opposes Pluto, intense emotions can come up. So it might be you think you've released and you realize you got a little more, or fears can come. Power struggles are possible. It represents darkness. It represents death and rebirth. It happens in the dark. Death and happens in the dark. Think about a seed. A plant dies, it goes back into the earth, and then that energy is reborn as a seed and then sprouted into the sun. So we see the darkness before we can come into the light. And that really feels like the energy that's happening this afternoon. I promise, we have really positive transit playing out today with the sun harmonized with Mars. But what I weigh is sometimes I think we really have to get ourselves, get to the bottom of things, into the darkness to decide what it is that we really want. Coming back to the theme of the sun, and what do we want? Well, sometimes you got to darkness to understand what you need in the world and what's truly important to you, right? When the moon opposes Pluto, just be aware because everyone's be feeling really intense emotion. That's where this tendency to control comes from. When we feel out of control because that intensity arises, it's really easy, especially under this aspect, project that on someone else and try to control them or manipulate. And so it's easy to end up in a fear loop, a little bit of obsession, and dark thoughts opposes Pluto. Just remember, it's part of the process. It's all part of that dark night of the soul concept, right? Like you have to go into in order to be born into light. And the moon opposing Pluto is a powerful moment to do that. Just watch yourself, okay? Not control other people, get into power struggles in the process. Nick says, I have my Pluto at 24 degrees in Libra and Saturn at 19 degrees. Okay, so they are conjunct for you and Pluto. Your Saturn return was probably a very transformative time for you. Pluto at 24 degrees in Libra, it's going to this opposition between Moon and Pluto. So it might feel like a lot of intensity, especially coming up for you, Nick, this afternoon. Diane, very excited to see where this growth goes. There's excitement coming, okay? There's positivity coming at the end of this forecast, I promise. I'm always excited as how I will emerge from a rebirth. That's a beautiful way to look at it. I love that bring that up. And you know, some feel pretty in the process of going through muck and the darkness and going within ourselves and seeing things that maybe we've been replaying or pushing down come up. Pluto likes to do, really likes to up the depths of us. But it's an important process. So the moon is going to be after it opposes Pluto from about 3 until 9:45 time, and that's when the waning crescent moon will move into Leo. So for my Easters, it'll be about 1 a.m. For those of us on the West Coast, 9:45, 10 p.m. is when the moon moves into Leo. Now we're coming into this full-blown crescent moon over the next week. And crescent moon in Leo to me is just like surrender through joy, really inviting us next couple of days to have fun and express ourselves authentically. We've asked ourselves today, what do we want? What feels true to me? What are my true desires? Authentic. And then next couple of days, the Leo moon is this invitation to let come out, let that be expressed a little bit. And under this releasing moon, let go of anything that's not sparking joy, that doesn't feel authentic, that's part of what's lighting us up. The waning moon in Leo feels just like letting our hair down and just having fun, just finding joy in the release, finding expression and releasing through action. Maybe it's that you're singing in the car, dancing around your house, and you're literally having an energy coming of you. That can be really powerful under a Leo moon. But here is I was talking about. So when the moon moves into Leo, it harmonizes with Jupiter, because now this isn't Jupiter at 0 degrees, or at the end of the day it will. So let me jump ahead and show you what this looks like. This is, hold on, we got to go back a couple hours. Here we go. Okay, so the moon at 0 degrees. Got you. The moon is at 0 degrees and Jupiter is at 0 degrees as tonight, because remember, Jupiter is retro. So let's talk about this transit, and then I'm going to talk about Jupiter at the 0 degree. The moon, Jupiter, it just good vibes, abundance, optimism, a little spontaneous energy. But because this is happening at midnight-ish of us, It might just be like restlessness late at night, like an excitement tomorrow, or a surge of energy comes through. So don't be surprised if late you feel a little bit like, whoa, where did this surge of energy come from? Especially when it's moving into Leo, trine Jupiter, fiery energy. Yeah, you just might you might have a hard time calming down late tonight. But we'll take the optimism. Emotional morning that we've gone through, the optimism is very much welcome. Because both of these planets are connecting at 0 degrees. The 0 degree is a degree in astrology, and it brings this like this want to do and to really embody the of whatever sign it's moved to. And so this eagerness along with restlessness of like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for the rest of the week. I'm so excited for what's ahead. That is the energy we're feeling late tonight. Now, Jupiter will be at 0 degrees for about the next week. And remember, Jupiter takes 12 years to go around the sun. So it takes its time. But Jupiter is going to be at the 0 degree until it moves back into Pisces retrograde. And Jupiter at 0 degree, don't be surprised or insanely spontaneous this week, or just like you get an idea and you want with it and you're overly optimistic. It's very easy to see the silver linings and just kind of run it, go with it, do it with Jupiter at 0 degrees. So I see a lot of impulsivity popping up for a lot of people starting today through, I've got to look at the calendar here. Jupiter moves back into Pisces on October 27th, I believe. It's going to be about a week or so. Oh, is it glitching? Oh, I don't know why. I turned off my Wi-Fi on everything else, but I have a feeling why. We have bots coming to chat. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry, you guys. I went. I've got my like systems a go to make sure it doesn't glitch, but sometimes the internet wants to be the internet. Let me see if I kind of close out things, if that helps. Maybe it'll catch up. I'm going to be talking about Jupiter 0 degree, because it sounds like you can still hear me. I'm glad you guys told me though. It's like, is this me? No, it's not just you. Trying to listen as best I can. Oh, and there's an echo. Is it the bots? Are they taking over my stream? We can hear just an echo. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna turn off. Is that better? Echo better. I turned off echo cancel. I don't know if that's gonna help at all, but having technical problems today. Of course, yes, we are. Sorry this happened to you today. Thank Nick. It's all good. We're just go with it. I saw a lot of people dropping out. It must be happening, but I don't know. It's I want to hear you. We are willing to listen through the glitches. Well, I'll keep going and just see what happens. Jupiter at the 0 degree. It's that genuine energy, just gonna want to do it. So you take a beat before you take action over the next week, because we could be overly optimistic. Jupiter at the 0 degree. My internet is being overly optimistic, or maybe I'm being overly optimistic. We can figure it together. Okay. Now let's come back to our affirmation of the day. If glitchy or laggy, that's okay. Just follow the sound of my voice. The affirmation is, I know who I am, what I want. Coming back to the sun, Mars harmonizing. I know who I am, I know what I want, and tapping into that desire is what can help us to move the needle forward, take aligned action. So if this affirmation, if that feels overwhelming to you and you're like, I don't know who I am, I don't know what I want, that's That's work lies, right? Sitting with ourselves and being like, what do I want? Who am I? What am I here to do? Those are questions to ask yourself today. We'll finish with our card pull. I'm going to pull from the Spirit Oracle, see what wants to through. And you'll see your questions. So even if this is your opportunity to ask any questions. Know if you have any intentions you want to share. There was a card that just got stuck at the bottom of this, so I'm gonna leave that out, and I'm gonna pull another one too. But it feels very on point that it got stuck at the bottom of the deck. So I'm gonna shuffle up here and see what the cards have for us today. How's everybody feeling to start the week? I asked that at the beginning, but I would love to hear anyone else how these feeling for you with this week. And we are going to talk tomorrow. I'll save it until tomorrow, since this is being a little glitchy, about what's going on with Venus, because Venus is getting busy this week. There's a lot going on with Venus. So that's really going to be the focus of the show tomorrow. Hopefully my internet will get it together. But right now you'll notice that the Sun and Venus are almost coming into a conjunction on the 2nd. But because they move at very similar paces, Sun and Venus are going to be traveling together for the past couple days. We're really feeling Venus's influence. Relationships, it feels like there's a big emphasis on relationships right now for all of us. Remember, not just romantic relationships, but partnerships, friendships, even relationships with children. So it really feels like emphasis on relationships to close out Libra. Okay. I'll be curious if I get guidance on the situation that came up this morning. I think you will. Started feeding another cat that showed up this morning. It's an old cat bed, and passed a few years ago. Aw, well, that's sweet. This is just very for me. Been looking into traveling cousin without kids. This is a sign I love that for you. And coming back into who you are outside your identity as a mom, right? Okay, let's go ahead and take a deep breath together. Here we breathe in. And release. What do I need to know? Okay, I love these cards so much. I feel like there are points. So first I'm going to start with the card that's bottom of the box, Skunk Spirit, and the message on the bottom, know your worth, card number 54. And immediately, know your worth feels very aligned with who am I, what do I want? Really reminding us that we are worthy of our desires. But here it says, what do you value? What do you believe in? Is your best, most authentic self on display? Skunk comes as a reminder that you can be proud of who you are and what you accomplished. Know your worth. Everyone will agree with you or share views, but you can walk with your head high, knowing that when you express your integrity, others can feel authenticity and will be by it. Be who you are, and if your reputation precedes you, good. You have much to be proud of. Skunk Spirit wants you to be your best self, true you. Beautiful. Okay, but then the card I pulled when we all took our breath together was Sandpiper Spirit, card number 51, and the message is be playful. Very tapped into Leo moon that is upon us tonight, and that's what it says. Sandpipers are little clowns poking their beaks or darting off to chase the waves. The appearance of Sandpiper Spirit is a sign that now is a time to gauge your playfulness. Whatever tasks for you, perform them with the lightness of being. Explore the familiar, discovering the new, old. Who knows what treasures await you when you let yourself laugh and have fun. Sandpiper Spirit's happy and curious nature can help you feel rejuvenated as you remember your ability to run, fly, and dance playfully. I love these cards today. Affirming feels very like renewed confidence, knowing our, and then being playful, and work hand in hand, right? Like put it in ourselves when we find that worth, when we find purpose, when we find who are we here to do, what do we desire, it makes it easier to be light, to play, to have fun, because the flow of authenticity, and know that, you know, there's like some noise coming from out of there. Maybe that's why my internet's glitchy. We'll have to look into it. I'm distracted today. But we're playing, we're having fun, we're rolling with it. One point, I love that Pepe Le Pew always had confidence. He really did. Maybe overconfident. The skunk spirit here to remind us of our confidence, and Sandpiper here to remind us to be playful. All right, everybody, I am going off there, so I don't keep this lagginess going on any longer. I'm sure my face is all like weirdly distorted sometimes. That's okay. I'm not here to look good for you. I'm here to lay this information. So, with that, I hope you have a beautiful to your week. I hope that you remember why you're here and what you truly want today. And I'll be back tomorrow to talk more on with Venus, the energy ahead, and to check in with you all. But as always, I'm so grateful you decided for yourself today. I'm so grateful that you continue to show this community, and for me, even when wash hands. I don't know what that was. Even when the internet's weird. No, just the audio was funky. All right, okay. Well, I'm curious to go back and it. Thank you for being. Love you all. I will see you right back here tomorrow. But until I see you next, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.